Hello everybody, Duncan here, and welcome to another episode of Dylan's Disney Movie Reviews. In the past, prior to 2012, Pixar had always placed their movies in modern day settings. Then in 2012, Pixar released their first film set in the past, and it's what I'm reviewing this week. Released on June 22nd, 2012, the movie is Brave. The movie opens in medieval Scotland at a picnic ground where young Princess Merida of Clandonbrock, voiced by Paige Barker, is playing with her mother, Queen Eleanor, voiced by Emma Thompson.
Where is my little birthday girl? I'm going to gobble her up when I find her. I'm going to eat you. Oh, Fergus, no weapons on the table.
Can I, please?
Merida's father, King Fergus, voiced by Billy Connolly, gives her a bow and arrows as a birthday present, and she tries it out.
Now, there's a good girl. Draw all the way back now to your cheek, that's right. Keep both eyes open. And loose.
She then shoots an arrow into the woods and goes in to get it. She finds the arrow and then hears some scary noises. Some will-o'-the-wisps then appear and guide her back to her parents. Suddenly...
Mordu! Run!
10 years later, Merida, now voiced by Kelly MacDonald, gives a narration about destinies.
Some say our destiny is tied to the land, as much a part of us as we are of it. Others say fate is woven together like a cloth, so that one's destiny intertwines with many others. It's the one thing we search for, or fight to change. Some never find it. But there are some who are led.
She also explains that her father Fergus losing his left leg to the bear Mordu became a legend. She now has 3 separate brothers named Hamish, Hubert, and Harris, and how her mother Eleanor plans out every day of her life of being a princess.
Aye, Robin, jolly Robin, and thou shalt know of mine.
Project.
And thou shalt know of mine.
Enunciate, you must be understood from anywhere in the room, or it's all for naught.
This is all for naught.
I heard that. From the top. A princess must be knowledgeable about her kingdom. She doesn't doodle. That's a C, dear. A princess does not chortle. Doesn't stuff her gob. Rises early. Is compassionate. Patient. Cautious. Clean. And above all, a princess strives for, well, perfection.
However, there are some days when Merida can just be herself and do what she wants to do, and while she goes out on her horse Angus, we hear a song called Touch the Sky performed by Julie Fowlis.
Where dark woods hide secrets and mountains are fierce and bold, deep waters hold reflections of times lost long ago. I will hear their every story, take hold of my own dream, be as strong as the seas are stormy and proud as an eagle's scream. I will ride, I will fly
she then returns to the castle and joins her family for dinner.
Mom, you'll never guess what I did today. I climbed the crone's tooth and drank from the fire falls.
Fire falls. They say only the ancient kings were brave enough to drink the fire.
What did you do, dear?
Nothing, Mom.
Eleanor then receives 3 letters from Lords Macintosh, MacGuffin, and Dingwall, who have accepted to present their sons as suitors for Merida's betrothal, which Merida's not happy about.
I don't know why you're reacting in this way. This year, each clan will present a suitor to compete in the games for your hand.
I suppose a princess just does what she's told.
A princess does not raise her voice. Merida, this is what you've been preparing for your whole life.
No, it's what you've been preparing me for my whole life. I won't go through with it. You can't make me.
Merida!
Eleanor enters Merida's room and tells her a story about another kingdom which was ruled by a beloved king.
And when he grew old, he divided the kingdom among his 4 sons, that they should be the pillars on which the peace of the land rested. But the oldest prince wanted to rule the land for himself. He followed his own path, and the kingdom fell to war and chaos and ruin.
That's a nice story.
It's not just a story, Merida. Legends are lessons. They ring with truths.
Ugh, Mom.
I would advise you to make your peace with this. The clans are coming to present their suitors.
It's not fair.
Ugh, Merida, it's marriage. It's not the end of the world.
Later, while Eleanor is sewing a tapestry, Fergus comes in and has her pretend he's Merida.
Merida, all this work, all the time spent preparing you, schooling you, giving you everything we never had. I ask you, what do you expect us to do?
Call off the gathering. Would that kill them? You're the queen. You can just tell the lords the princess is not ready for this. In fact, she might not ever be ready for this. So that's that. Good day to you. We'll expect your declarations of war in the morning.
I understand this must all seem unfair. Even I had reservations when I faced betrothal. But we can't just run away from who we are.
I don't want my life to be over. I want my freedom.
But are you willing to pay the price your freedom will cost?
I'm not doing any of this to hurt you.
If you could just try to see what I do out of love.
But it's my life. I'm just not ready.
I think you'd see. If you could just...
I think I could make you understand if you would just...
Listen.
Listen.
Soon enough, the lords arrive while Eleanor gets Merida ready.
You look absolutely beautiful.
I can't breathe.
Oh, shush. Give us a turn.
Oh, I can't move. It's too tight.
It's perfect. Merida.
Mom?
Just remember to smile.
The lords and their clans enter the castle and present their sons, starting with Lord Macintosh, voiced by Craig Ferguson.
Your Majesty, I present my heir and scion, who defended our land from the northern invaders and, with his own sword, stab Blooder, vanquished 1,000 foes.
Then Lord MacGuffin, voiced by Kevin McKidd.
Good Majesty, I present my eldest son, who scuttled the Viking longships and with his bare hands vanquished 2,000 foes.
And finally, Lord Dingwall, voiced by the late Robbie Coltrane.
I present my only son, who was besieged by 10,000 Romans And he took out a whole armada single-handedly. With one arm, he was steering the ship, and with the other, he held his mighty sword and struck down the whole attacking fleet.
Lies!
What? I heard that. On, say it to my face. Or are ye scared, simpering jackanapes? Afraid to muss your pretty hair?
At least we have hair.
And all our teeth. If he was a wee bit closer, I could lob a caber at him, kin.
And we don't hide under bridges, ya grumpy old troll.
You wanna laugh, huh? We Dingwall!
A fight then begins, which Fergus stops, but then the triplets started up again and Fergus is now in it.
I didn't start it, it was he. My lady queen, I feel terrible. My humblest apology.
No disrespect. I'm sorry, love. I didn't, but... Yes, dear.
Eleanor then says that in accordance with the laws, only the firstborn of each of the great leaders may compete for Merida's hand in marriage.
To win the fair maiden, they must prove their worth by feats of strength or arms in the games. It is customary that the challenge be determined by the princess herself.
Archery! Archery! I choose archery.
Let the games begin!
So the games begin. It's now time for archery, and MacGuffin's son, also voiced by Kevin McKidd, goes first.
I bet he wishes he was tossing cabers.
Or holding up bridges.
Then Macintosh's son, voiced by Stephen Cree.
At least you hit the target, son!
Oh, that's attractive.
I got it!
Good arm.
And such lovely flowing locks.
Fergus.
What?
And finally, Wee Dingwall, voiced by Colm O'Neill, who does the best. However, Merida then enters the tournament as the firstborn descendant of Clendon Brock. She shoots for her own hand and hits all the bullseyes. Afterwards, Eleanor takes Merida to her room and they argue.
You don't know what you've done. It'll be
care
fire
how I-
and sword if it's not set right.
Just listen!
I am the queen. You listen to me.
Oh! This is so unfair!
Unfair.
You're never there for me. This whole marriage is what you want. Do you ever bother to ask what I want? No! You walk around telling me what to do, what not to do, trying to make me be like you. Well, I'm not going to be like you.
Oh, you're acting like a child.
And you're a beast. That's what you are.
Merida.
I'll never be like
No,
you.
stop that.
I'd rather die than be like you.
Merida then rides off into the forest on Angus and they come to a ring of Menhurst stones. Merida then sees some wisps and she and Angus follow them to a cottage.
Why would the wisps leave me here?
Merida enters the cottage and it's filled with wood carvings of bears. She then meets an old lady voiced by Julie Walters who claims that she's just a wood carver. But then Merida sees the lady's broom sweeping by itself and finds out that her pet crow can talk, and Merida realizes that the lady is a witch.
You're a witch!
Wood carver!
That's why the wisps led me here.
Wood carver!
You'll change my fate!
Wood carver!
You see, it's my mother.
I'm not a witch! Too many unsatisfied customers.
The witch tells Merida to leave if she won't buy anything, so Merida says she'll buy everything and she pays with her necklace.
Oh my, that's lovely, that is.
That would set us up for months.
Merida then adds a spell to change her mom to that purchase. The witch agrees and turns her carving room into a conjuring room.
Very important. The last time I did this was for a prince.
Easy on the eyes. Tight pants.
He demanded I give him the strength of 10 men. And he gave me this for a spell. A spell that would change his fate.
And did he get what he was after?
Oh, yes! I made off with an especially attractive mahogany cheese board.
So the witch creates the spell and the result is a cake.
Oh! Hey!
A cake?
You don't want it?
Yes, I want it. You're sure if I give this to my mom, it will change my fate?
Oh, trust me. It'll do the trick, dearie.
Merida then leaves with the cake and the witch tells her to expect the delivery within a fortnight.
Oh, oh. What was that thing about the spell?
Did you say something about the spell?
Merida returns to the castle where Fergus is entertaining the clans and Merida gets the cake ready for Eleanor, who then comes in.
I've been worried sick.
You
I didn't know where you'd gone or when you'd come back. I didn't know what to think. Oh, look at your dress.
Oh, Angus threw me, but I'm not hurt.
Well, you're home now. So that's the end of it.
Eleanor reminds Merida that her decision still has to be made, and Merida shows her the cake which she says she made as a peace offering.
You made this for me. Oh, interesting flavour.
How do you feel?
What is that?
Different?
Tart. And gamey.
Have you changed your mind at all about the marriage and all that?
Oh, that's better. Now, why don't we go upstairs to the Lords and put this whole kerfuffle to rest?
Then as they head into the dining room, Eleanor feels ill and Merida takes her to her room.
Just take all the time you need getting yourself right, Mum. Then maybe in a bit you might have something new to say on the marriage.
What was in that cake?
Cake?
Eleanor then rolls out of bed and turns into a bear. Merida then explains that a witch gave her a gammy spell and they need to find her to fix this. Meanwhile, Fergus senses that something's wrong and he and the clan search the castle while Merida and Eleanor try to leave.
Mum! Wait! What are you doing? Dad, the Bear King? If he so much as sees you, you're dead.
Another one of your entertainments to bore us to death. Oh, and just what exactly are we after, my liege?
Best to humour him. He is, after all, the king.
He's like a hound with that nose of his.
Eleanor enters the triplets' room. Merida explains what happened and asks them to help them get out of the castle.
Oh, all right. You can have my desserts for 2-3 weeks. Okay, fine. A year.
So the triplets create a distraction for Fergus and the clans, leading them up to the roof of a tower.
It must have sprouted wings.
Was carried away by a giant birdie.
A dragon, perhaps.
Bear in that castle. Doesn't make sense. Can he open doors? It's got big giant paws.
Let's just get inside. It's locked.
Dingwall was the last up.
I propped it open with a stick.
Merida and Eleanor make it down to the kitchen, followed by the triplets. Merida and Eleanor then head out to find the witch.
Go on and help yourself to anything you want as a reward.
In the woods, Merida and Eleanor arrive at the Menhurst stone ring, and Merida looks for the wisps, but they don't show up. So Merida and Eleanor just wander into the forest, and soon enough they find the witch's cottage, but she's not there. However... The witch's face appears in the cauldron, saying that she's out of stock.
But if you'd like to inquire about portraits or wedding cake toppers, pour vial 1 into the cauldron. If you like the menu in Gaelic, vial 2. If you're that red-haired lass, vial 3.
Merida pours vial 3 into the cauldron, and the witch tells her that by the second sunrise, the spell will be permanent unless she remembers these words.
Fate be changed. Look inside. Mend the bond torn by pride.
Fate be changed. Mend the bond? What does that mean?
One more time. Fate be changed. Look inside. Mend the bond torn by pride. That's it. Ta-ta! Oh, and thank you for shopping at the crafty cart.
Merida then pours all the other vials into the cauldron, trying to figure out where the witch went, but then the cottage explodes. Merida then sets up a little shelter for them and tells Eleanor that they'll figure things out tomorrow. The next morning, Eleanor sets up a table and found some nightshade berries for breakfast.
Nightshade berries. They're poisonous. Where did you get this water? It has worms. Come on.
They then walk down to a creek and Merida catches a fish.
Breakfast. Oh, wait. A princess should not have weapons, in your opinion. There you go. Go on. How do you know you don't like it if you won't try it?
Merida cooks the fish, Eleanor gives it a try, and apparently being a bear makes her really like fish. She and Merida then do some fishing together.
How did we let it come to this? What we just tasted, we somehow still miss. How will it feel when this day is done? And can we keep what we've only begun? Could these walls come crumbling down? I want to feel my feet on the ground. Can we carry this love that we share into the open air?
After that, Eleanor wanders into the forest and Merida follows her.
Mom, come back. Mom, is that you? Mom? You changed. Like you were a... like you were a bear on the inside.
Some wisps then appear. Merida and Eleanor follow them and arrive in an old kingdom in ruins.
Why did the wisps bring us here? Whoever they were, they've been gone for a long, long time.
Merida then falls into the throne room where she sees a stone carving of the four princes from the story, and the oldest prince is cut off from the rest.
The oldest. Split like the tapestry. The spell. It's happened before. Strength of 10 men. Fate be changed. Changed his fate. Oh no. The prince became...
Mordu then shows up and tries to attack Merida, but she and Eleanor manage to escape and return to the Menhur Stone Ring, where Merida tells Eleanor that they have to get back to the castle.
If we don't hurry, you'll become like Mordu. A bear. A real bear. Forever. Mend the bond torn by pride. The witch gave us the answer. The tapestry.
Merida and Eleanor return to the castle, but there are guards everywhere, so they sneak in through the well. On their way to Merida's room, the clans are fighting with Fergus about which of their sons will marry Merida. So Merida enters and tells everybody about the kingdom that fell into ruins.
Oh, we've all heard that tale, Lost Kingdom.
Aye, but it's true. I know now how one selfish act can turn the fate of a kingdom.
It's just a legend.
Legends are lessons. They ring with truths.
She then reminds the lords about how they were once enemies, but when invaders from the sea threatened them, they joined forces and fought for each other.
You risked everything for each other. Lord MacGuffin, my dad saved your life stopping an arrow as you ran to Dingwall's aid.
Aye, and I'll never forget it.
And Lord Macintosh, you saved my dad when you charged in on Heavy Horse and held off the advance. And we all know how Lord Dingwall broke the enemy line.
With a mighty throw of his spear.
I was aiming at you, you big tubsy.
The story of this kingdom is a powerful one. My dad rallied your forces and you made him your king. It was an alliance forged in bravery and friendship, and it lives to this day.
Merida then reminds them of her betrothal, and she tells the clans that Eleanor has decided that the firstborns can marry whoever they want.
Huh? Well, since you've obviously made up your minds about this, I have one thing to say. This is...
a grand idea! Give us our own say in choosing our fate.
What?
Aye, why shouldn't we choose?
But she's the princess.
I didn't pick her out. It was your idea.
And you? You feel the same way? It's just nae fair marking respect for the hand of the queen. It doesn't win to anybody yet. Can? Well, that settles it. Let these lads try and win her heart before they win her hand. If they can.
I say the wee Dingwall has a fighting chance.
Fine then. Seems for once we agree.
It was my idea in the first place.
Merida then sends everybody down to the cellar to open Fergus's private reserve and celebrate. She and Eleanor enter Merida's room, where Merida believes that mending the tapestry will change Eleanor back.
We just need needle and thread. Mom? Mom? Not now. No, please, not now. Mom?
Suddenly, Fergus comes upstairs and enters his room, where he finds Eleanor's dress. Fergus then enters Merida's room, finds Eleanor in bear form, and attacks her.
No, Dad! Don't hurt her!
Get out of here! Merida! No!
It's all right. I'm all right. It's nothing. It's just a little scratch. Mom!
Eleanor then heads out. She runs into the lords and then runs into the forest. Fergus locks Merida in her room, gives Maudie the key, and then joins the clans to hunt Eleanor. Merida tries to break the door down but fails. Her brothers in bear form then show up, and Merida has them get the key from Maudie. They manage to get the key, free Merida, and ride off on Angus. Eleanor rides with the Manhurst stone ring, followed by Fergus and the clans, and they tie her up. Merida finishes mending the tapestry, and then the wisps appear.
Yeah! 'Cause 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 'cause
Fergus is then about to kill Eleanor, but luckily Merida stops him.
Get back! That's my mother!
Are you out of your mind, lass?
Mum, are you hurt?
Merida!
I'll not let you kill my mother. Boys.
Boys?
Mor'du then shows up and attacks.
Kill it!
Scoundrel!
Come on! I'll take you with my bare hands!
Eleanor manages to free herself and fights Mor'du. One of the stones then collapses and falls onto Mor'du, killing him. Then, as the sun rises for the second time since the transformation, Merida places the mended tapestry on Eleanor, but she remains a bear.
No. I don't understand. Oh, Mum. I'm sorry. This is all my fault. I did this to you. To us. You've always been there for me. You've never given up on me. I just want you back.
After a few minutes, Eleanor turns back, and what the witch actually meant by mend the bond torn by pride was for Merida and Eleanor to fix their relationship.
You changed.
Oh, darling. We both have.
Eleanor! Oh, 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 Eleanor! Oh. Ah.
Oh dear.
Later, Merida and Eleanor make a new tapestry together, and then they head down to the docks to bid the clans farewell.
I have no strength with which to speak. When you sit me down and see I'm weak.
All the best. All the best. Fair wind to your sails.
We will run and scream. You will dance with me.
The movie ends with another narration from Merida.
There are those who say fate is something beyond our command, that destiny is not our own. But I know better. Our fate lives within us. You only have to be brave enough to see it.
And that was brave. My thoughts? It's really good. On a budget of $185 million, the movie made $237.3 million domestically and $303.2 million from the rest of the world, for a total of $540.4 million worldwide, making it the 13th highest grossing film of 2012 and the 3rd highest grossing animated film of that year, behind Ice Age Continental Drift and Madagascar 3 Europe's Most Wanted, and got good reviews from critics. Now let's move on to the production of the film. The idea started when Brenda Chapman got inspired by her relationship with her own daughter, Emma, where Emma was like Merida and Eleanor was like Brenda herself. So Pixar announced the film as The Bear and the Bow in 2008 and that Brenda would be the director. But then in October 2010, she got into creative disagreements with John Lasseter, and Mark Andrews replaced her as director. For the voices, Reese Witherspoon was chosen to voice Merida, but she didn't do it because of her schedule. So they hired Kelly MacDonald, best known for playing Margaret Schroeder from the HBO series Boardwalk Empire, instead. For the character of Lord Macintosh, he's a reference to Steve Jobs, who died on October 5th, 2011, and this movie was even dedicated to him. For the animation, 2 new software programs were made for this movie. One of them was to make it so that all 1,500 strands of Merida's long red locks would move like real hair. This movie was the first to use the new Dolby Atmos sound system, which changes from the 5/7 channel sound mixes to 64 discrete speaker feeds and 128 lossless and simultaneous audio channels. And now it's time for me to give my opinion on the film. In the end, Brave may not be one of Pixar's best films because of its recycled story, but it's still really good. I give it 4 stars out of 5. Well, that's it for Brave. Be sure to join next week when I'll be reviewing Robert Louis Stevenson's novel Set in Space. And if you enjoyed this video, then please tell your friends about me, leave some questions in the comments below, subscribe, and hit that like button.
We will run and scream. You will dance with me. We'll fulfill our dreams and we'll be free. We will be who we are, and they'll hear our stars. Sadness will be far away.
Feast your eyes!
You did it!
That's my boy!
Dinner!